Welcome to my channel. It's good to have you here. My name is Gemma. I am a criminologist and I am an advanced schoolist. So in this era, what are we doing? Okay, what is this? This is about theatrics. Okay, what are we learning at school? Okay, everything is like a ritual, right? But it's not at the same time. Okay, it's almost like if you're dyslexic, if you have autism, you might be experiencing this on spiritual realms. Okay, you might be experiencing this in 5D, 4D zones. Okay, so you need to rise from 4D. Okay, but let's get into theatrics. Okay, this is how it's taught. This is how we know what's going on. So who's the biggest theatric? Who set the scene? It was Shakespeare. Shakespeare set that scene. Okay, so if you want to know anything about like occultism and it when it pertains to things like theatrics, okay, this is sort of like a process of learning a theatrical world, because this is what we live in. Okay, so we have the higher ups. They are the it's almost like they're the directors, like William Shakespeare. Okay, he did it. He did the midlight, and whatever you learn in poetry at school, that might connotate something that you might be experiencing on a level, on a different plane, right? So here's one. Midsummer Night Murder, right? Nightmares, right? This is it, right? It's about, I think it's creepy, right? But there's other things like Macbeth, right? The Woman in Black, okay? Stuff like this, right? This is like a connotation to understand that everything is a theatre, right? And there's a position to behold. And, you need to see what's there, what's behind the scenes. Because usually 5D is like a concept of a play out, like a movie or something like this. So this is how you have to understand how the dimensions that I talk about are really important to be able to understand how the connectedness of this universe comes together through the dimensions in this realm, in this time, as a programmable state. How would we best depict how these people in positions of power are doing what they're doing? So you get some actors who are paid to do it, and then you get some actors who are just used and abused, right? So this is like a Shakespeare energy, right? So this is like a drama class theatre, right back onto itself. It's almost like they are observing you, right? You are the observation, right? And this is how it's almost like, oh, this is how we all exist, because we can understand a double split experiment. So let's go into the double split experiment. So we said if it's an observation, it becomes a point, and if it's not an observation, it becomes a wave, right? It's a wave. It just does what it wants to do. So this is how you can kind of like understand the wave, right? And then the point, okay? So this is how they say everyone exists. I think it's just a theory to sort of like push in an era of theatrics so that it's more plausible for this to take place. Because if it wasn't an observation, nothing would happen, type thing. And this is kind of like how I think their mind would work, and how they sort of accept that what they're doing is kind of okay when it's fucking nuts. I think people learn this in MA course. It's pretty simple, okay? It's not conspiracy, right? So we're taught this at school. Taught this at school. People taught at school. Your mind might go off in weird places. You're like, oh, I'm learning this, I'm learning this, I'm learning this. What's this? Something new. So, or you might remember it, but you might have put you in a weird space, right? Because it might actually stop you from being able to function within society. If you have dyslexia or autism, you're halfway in, you're halfway out, Put your left foot in, your left foot out. You can't like that. And especially if you're a connector. So this can happen to people who have like a 3, a 6, or a 9 in their chart, right? So I know this, but I don't know much about anything else, so I can't obviously comment about your 1s and your 4s, and I don't know, right? So I'm not it. Maybe I am in my name or something. I don't know. I'm not it, right? So occultism and theatrics really come in together with this, especially when it goes to MA theatrics, theoretical underpinnings, right? So the reason why I say this is because this is really what's going on. And, some things are uncontrollable because there's an overarching factor. And it's kind of like we've got to take them out, right? Boss, that's right. So let's get into one. Romeo and Juliet, right? Just, why not? Where, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? I searched high and low for you out my window. Where are you? Romeo, Romeo. Right? This is one. Ugh. Right? And it's stupid because it's a play on words. And this is why I say it, right? Simply. It's a play on words. It's a distraction as well to your own lives, future, especially spiritual. Right, so I got to see this is that they're programs, okay? So we're taught this. And they're programmable states, and that's how it is, right? What is it? They had a family feud, okay? There's a family feud, but them two fell in love, right? This is the analogy. And what happened is that they fought each other, and then they ended up, going together. Right? Ooh. But this is kind of like a theatrical underpinning, like, and it's almost like if you're an occultist, this is kind of might be something that you might be playing out. Okay, so you can do this through poetry. You can do this through poetry, right? And it just is. And this is kind of like how they initially can put you into a trap. Okay, so this is like a theatrical trap for the higher classes, right? And I think that's what it is, because there's not many people are into occultism. I mean, we're taught it at school, but we don't go into it, like we're not. But it's drama, okay? It's drama. This is the basic concept of like acting. It's drama, and it's also it's everything that we've learned at school. It's programming. It's computer programming as well. We didn't learn at school, but we learned how to use software, okay? But we learn how to program it in. You can program stuff in. You can make stuff, new videos and stuff like this, right? So there's this connotation to it. Right? And then this is how you, can understand a higher class manipulating things, pushing it down into us. So this is a Shakespeare concept. This is an occult topic. I think another one drew pictures and I don't know, I can't remember his name, Da Vinci or something, I don't know. He's part of it as well. But the reason why they're all up classes, there's a purpose. So an observation would be an observation onto one. Somebody would need an observer, right? So they go back to you, right? You're significant in this lifetime. They go back to you. This is why they do it, right? So they can either, usually though, when you're a significant factor, they can try and obviously direct your life. And this is obviously a direct concept. And you're an actor, and then there's a director behind the scenes, and he's controlling everything. And this is kind of like how you got to see it, right? And so this is like a theatrical underpinning. This is like drama class. This is literature at school. Like, cause I think I got literature and language. I did 2 GCSEs. I took 2 individual subjects. So it's English lit and English language. So I got 2 C's for mine. She wanted me to go for a higher class. She wanted me to pass it a B, an A, but I didn't. She said to me that I should do it, I should go all the way, get 8, but I didn't want to do a higher tier because I didn't have much confidence in myself when I was younger. But she wanted me to go for that higher tier paper, and this was language, literature as well. This is poetry, things like this. I love poetry and stuff like this. I think it's beautiful, and I wanted to do that as an A level, but there weren't that option. I don't think when I went in. There weren't an option to do English literature, but I wanted to do it. I think that might be why I'm interested in the occults now. So things are words and spells, there's a play on words, and there's also a play taking place in an overarching factor, and this is how you got to see it. So that, you can add, because there's people that come into the mix and added things that are absolutely really random, right? Or a religious underpinning that's been skewed and it's just spat back out. And it's kind of like, if you're incorporating an all-one concept, you need to be playing a part too. You need to come back down again, and you need to really understand it. It's not about following. It's not about, a calling as such to bring out knowledge. It's about what you're bringing down into that place. Is it all just a questionable circumstance, And, I understand that this is really how people can get more following. They can get more views and stuff like this through that. Because they're questioning the narratives. If you rise to an all one, everyone's going to be doing that. So we have to release that concept of a questionable narrative and just pinpoint the truth, right? Because this is why I'm direct with what I talk about, okay? So this is why, because we need to be, when you rise to an all-one, you have to be responsible enough to be able to bring this down and then work with it, okay? So if you've got people that Rose and they're just like trying to, they've got visions where you don't know what's handling them, what's enforcing that through them, okay? There's another thing. This is also another thing we need to be bearing in mind, because if there's a high overarching factor and it's not just a financial based service, what financial, underpinning, like what is above, what is higher. So this is like a director concept. This is how you could understand this. And this is really how the director would control the narrative, okay? So it is a theatrical perspective. This is why I'm trying to bring it together, help you understand. And this is also how I can sort of depict as an actor. Like, what are you acting in? What is your role, right? Are you acting? Okay? So, like, are you, like, a yes man concept would just be you acting and you're just doing what they want you to do as well. So it's almost like there's an overarching factor, and there's like places that have this happen. There are places where, we can understand that you might just be an actor as well in the midst of it all, because they want it to go a certain way. And the only way they can do it is if they bring in certain people to be able to do that, right? This is how a theatrical perspective can become abusive. This is how corruption can also take place, right? Because, I didn't sign up for this in my, when I first came here. Like, that's not what I came here to do. So I'm going to continue to do what I do, and people might say, oh yeah, you're not good enough and stuff, but that's obviously a load of crap, isn't it? I think so far in the game I can understand what's going on and why it's taking place, and how you've used theories to justify how you treat people. Okay? Because the reality is that if everything's a theatre and they put you in your positions, you are now handled. If someone says to you, God told me to do this, God told me to do that, they're handled. Okay? They're handled. So why am I doing this? Well, maybe it's because they want me to. Yeah, maybe because they want me to. So another thing is, as well, is theatrics and occult topics they merge because of the dimensions, okay? It's almost like there's pieces is missing, which is a quantum science, is missing to this understanding. And it's almost like you need to put that in your, how are we evolving from that 1616 Shakespeare? Are we actually evolving from that? Or are we just still reliving it? It's 2024, for crying out loud. Do you not think it's boring? Like, can you not just go to a theatre and watch something? Like, why is it that you have to like input our lives and push us through these places? As interesting as that, I think it's quite boring, isn't it? So there's a new wave, right? And it's the dimensions, and this is why I'm bringing it down to help everyone understand the dimensional places. And we can do this through drugs. And obviously I've spoke about this. Don't take drugs, it's bad. They're illegal for a reason. So this is I'm going to get into that as well. I'm going to access points, right, through drugs. And so what else am I going to do? I'm going to help you understand that there's more to this than just, meets the eye. Like, there's a bigger play taking place, and it's not for us, right? And oh yeah, they're gonna find you and chosen ones or that. No, that's why you're handled. That's why chosen ones are handled, because you are playing a factor. You might be a playing part in their hypocrisy. You might be a playing factor in their hypocrisy. And you might not be that popular. It's because you're playing a different part in their hypocrisy, right? And some people are known on purpose. This is how, because it's theatrical play, and it is the best way to see this. is just the best way to see this. And obviously I know this because I'm a criminologist, courtist, and that's going on, the subjects that we're writing about in MA courts, right?